Well, there's a storm outside the window at the moment, but there might be one in the dressing room in a few moments' time because we are in crisis mode with Southend United. As predicted, with our difficult running, we're in abysmal form. We've picked up no points in our last 6 matches, 1 point in our last 9, and today we are reliant on our former parent club to give us a bit of breathing space before the end of the season. Let's go and see if they can deliver for us because I don't have any confidence in us to do the job. Yes, hello and welcome to part 62 of Saving Southend with me, Daniel. We might be about to take our first backward step in this save because we're 2 points shy of last year's points total. We're not safe yet and we are in abysmal form. Let's see if we can put it right today against Nigel Pearson's West Ham or away at Aston Villa, who had a poor second half to the season themselves. But before all of that, we could be relying on a very nice favour because our former parent club Southampton are third bottom with 28 points. Bournemouth on 27, but if Southampton lose today in a 3 p.m. kickoffs and Bournemouth struggle to get a result as well, we could be safe before we play our final 2 games. I've come back at 3 p.m. so we can see them with the evening kickoff at 5:30. And if I show you the table and the fixtures, you'll see exactly why I'm a little on edge. The 3 p.m. kickoffs include bottom place Leeds at home to second bottom Bournemouth and Southampton in 18th at home to 14th place Wolves, who obviously battered us in the last episode. And if both of those lose or fail to win in Bournemouth's case, we will be safe before we play our penultimate game, despite being on a lower points total than last year. If you want to find out how we get on and you are looking forward to this one, please do put a thumbs up on the video. If either of these get a win in this game, it's going to be a nervy finish, isn't it? We're going to start by having a look at the schedule and seeing how we've been getting on, which is losing every game, as you know, but we'll see how. And then, of course, we'll go and find out what happens in these 3 p.m.s and see if we've got anything to worry about come the rest of this episode. So let's go and start by having a look at the schedule because since you were with me, 5 defeats in a row. We've conceded a lot of goals, 12 overall. We've scored 2 and we've lost pretty comfortably in most of them. The Everton one was the painful one. The rest we can have no complaints. We lost 4-0 at Leicester after the international break and we were actually a disgrace in that game. We lost 1-0 at home to Chelsea. Frustrating. Couple of injuries, poor performers, but we're never really in these games. It was a containing job. The same away at Arsenal where we lost 2-0. Martinelli and Saliba had it over by half time. At home to Everton, we were 1 up. It came back to 1-1. Then the game just sort of looked like it was petering out. Then Brian Hill late on put in a top corner free kick, something you rarely see in FM24. And that was us done by 2-1. If we'd got that, we wouldn't have had to worry about Bournemouth so much today. Away at City, we lost comfortably by 3-1. Martin Cox did put us level with a brilliant strike, but we didn't do enough to get a result, and we were battered for the most part of it. We are, though, as you saw from the last 2 home games, back at Steve Tilson Park. It's sold out, it's near our locality, and it's 21,000 seater, which is about right for us. We have, of course, got a poor Steve Tilson as a scout, but he's in the club as a club legend. It's certainly not giving us the feel-good factor, though. What we have done in the preparation for this one is hold a team meeting, which remarkably we've got right. We've got the club atmosphere back up a little bit despite the consistent defeats. And we've managed to have a few individual chats about training and conduct which have worked. But realistically, we're relying on these other 3 p.m. So let's go back to the Premier League. We're watching Leeds, Bournemouth and Southampton Wolves. And as we go into kick-off at 5:30, we could be safe if they both go our way. On the final day, Southampton are at Leicester, who are chasing Europe. So I'm hoping, even if Southampton draw today, we'll be all right. I'd much rather they lose and Bournemouth avoid winning. Because if so, we're definitely done it. And we don't have to worry about the rest. Let's skip ahead from the 3 p.m. fixtures. And cross your fingers, everyone. We are going to need some favours here. Please, Leeds, please, Wolves, do your job for us. Back in a moment. In fact, I'll keep you on while we press continue. What's going to happen? Will we have an easy afternoon? I still don't know. There's nothing to say we've secured survival. We're down to 17th. That doesn't bode well, does it? Norwich have gone above us with a win. Bournemouth won 3-0. Right, Southampton are down. There's the positive. Southampton are down. We definitely can't finish 19th. But Bournemouth have got to 30 points. Who have they got on the final day? Oh, Sheffield United at home. Oh no. We all know what's coming. Last season we survived by a point when Brentford were on 33. Bournemouth can get there again. We might need the same 34 points to survive. We've got one better on the goal difference, but that's not trustworthy. We're very volatile at the moment. I'll just win today, get it over with. A draw's not enough. This could be very difficult. Let's get through the tactical meeting. West Ham at home. We've done everything we can off the pitch to try and get things right with the chats, with getting people fired up, encouraging those in a goal drought, etc, etc. Caden Young's with West Ham. I mean, they've got no originals in there, have they? That Sedgew at the back. He's the one they tried to loan here last year, isn't it? A decent player. Of course, West Ham spent ages in the Championship. Only came back up last year. Nigel Pearson, the man that's finally addressed the slide. What are we going to do with our selection, though? Adozie and Volsky have both picked up knocks in the week. Ishmael is back, but is he fit enough? He's going to have to be because Lejnik was poor for 2 games. I've had a chat with Williams. I hope he'll be all right because there's no one better to come in. Adeniji is the only right back against his former club. Takatsuka's not been great in recent weeks. Ivanov's out of form. He's in a goal drought. Idowu the same. I'm going to throw Joe Hugel in because they're our top 2 scorers this season. We have to have faith in them. I am going to warn him about his recent form because he's not scored in ages. We need to start seeing goals from you. Where is it? There we go. Let's get you back in a rhythm, Joe. Today's the day. He did it on the final day last season. Let's hope he does it this time. Alan will be on the bench because we're running out of players there. Have we got strikers on the bench? We've got Fernandez and Adowu, the 2 lone boys. Let's just get them in position order. Make sure we've got cover everywhere. We have as much as we can at this point. I'm going to take Brooking off for Bashir Humphreys. And you know what, actually? I'm going to put Morehouse on the bench instead because he's been with us for so long. He's got a stronger personality. He's got stronger character from years at the club. I'm hoping he's going to be the man. Here we go then with our first 11. It's Caljo in goal. We've got Adeniji and Ishmael at fullback with Williams and Parker centre-half. Cox and Jimenez the midfield 2. Takatsuka and Sam Ammo out wide. And then Hugo and Ivanov both out of form up front. Hopefully, one can deliver today. Fingers crossed we get the result we need because Bournemouth have applied the pressure. Well, we might have just been done a massive favour, and it's probably the same one that benefited Bournemouth actually, which is West Ham have made a number of changes. They've dropped first teamers in several areas because they're in 10th now. They've lost out in the battle for Europe, and of course they can't go down. They've still got key first teamers in, particularly in goal and at centre-half, but overall, this is a weaker midfield than we expected, and the bench includes a number of youngsters. I mean, it's as good as it can be for us. The squad numbers kind of give you an indicator. So let's go and get into the first half. Come on. We've given you everything we can behind the scenes. We've tried to get you on the right track. We've warned both of the strikers about the goal drought. Surely something's got to give. It's 6 defeats in a row. West Ham, top half side, doing well. And now we're under big pressure because of Bournemouth's big win. 5 minutes gone with a better side so far. We're even dominating possession at the minute. But nothing doing in front of goal. And an early yellow for Martin Cox. Not a day I want one of those dodgy red cards. We've got a corner with Sam Ammo to the back post. Headed away by Reynolds as far as Cox. He came in from this position and scored against City. Here he's been dragged wide though to Emir Williams. Finds Cox again and Cameron Ishmael. Into Jimenez the youngster. Through balls there but he goes alone. Joaquin Jimenez with his first goal for Southend. The 19-year-old kid. The hard-working, improving youngster. Oh, you've not done it, have you? Not the best long shot rating, but not a bad finisher in fairness. The wonder kid in a poor season has been one of the few to really impress. He's consistently improved in training. He's played well when he's been fit. And he might have just delivered the biggest goal of the year. He might have just saved us. As it stands, we're up to 16th. We are mathematically safe. Only a win will do that today after Bournemouth's result. But West Ham are on the attack and it is by no means over yet. I couldn't even tell you when we last kept a clean sheet. Probably a couple of episodes ago when we had Norwich and Forest. As Jimenez at the back. No, don't ruin it. You've become a hero. Don't ruin it. Oh, Jimenez, no. Hero to 0 in 20 minutes. Gets caught dallying on the edge of his own box. Seems to be the case constantly with box-to-box midfielders this year. And it's 1-1. Just like that, the slide is back. We just cannot find a way to control games. We cannot keep on the front foot. And no one can just have a good game. If they do something great, they didn't have to do something ridiculous. The strikers still haven't looked like scoring, and West Ham are in again. Ljubicic on the edge is cleared. Every time there's a tackle there, I fear a free kick. Hugill flicks on, but no one's there. And West Ham are camped in our half at the minute. Sam Ammo beaten, but he gets back well. Now do not lose the ball. Emir Williams hoofs away. Ivanov's up, nobody's there. And Bentley gets it forward. We still can't get out of our half. Firth's in, we're 2-1 down. Played onside by Adeniji. And against West Ham's reserves, youngsters, whatever you want to call it, we're in big trouble. 2 shots on target, 0.3 expected goals, and they've got 2. It never rains, but it pours, doesn't it? Let's point the finger. I want a better display. You've got to give me more than this. Martin Cox has been awful. I'm going to bring on Alfie Harrison. I mean, it's not been a bad performance. We can't really do much more. We've played well. We've created opportunities. And now we've got an injury to Sam Ammo. The front 2 have done nothing. I'm going to bring Idowu on for Hugill. I'm going to take Sam Ammo off for Robbie Allen. I'll leave the last 2 a few more minutes, but you can see the nerves, the anxiety is flowing for now. Let's encourage the lads, try and get a reaction. As we're on the front foot with Adeniji. Katatsuka. Said the name wrong, but it's Adeniji in towards Robbie Allen. Away as far as Cameron Ishmael. Now would be a good time. Oh, he's hit the woodwork. Takazuka will chase it out. And it's a throw in. Oh, with a woodwork away now. I mean, this has been at best an even game. At worst, we've slightly dominated it. But where on earth do we go? Because we're 2-1 down with 20 to go. We'll make the other 2 in a minute as Jimenez looked like being the hero, but has ruined it already. Takazuka gets in, cuts back for Idowu. You've got to score. Idowu does. Takazuka with the assist. A big moment for him. We're back on terms. It's 2-2. Now can we find a winner? Oh, we're going straight from the kickoff. I know this is going to go wrong. Teze from the kickoff down the right. Why did I even celebrate it? Burn. Inside to midfield. Up to Frith. Adeniji's beaten by Smith on the left wing. It's going to come straight away, isn't it? Not even 30 seconds. Hill on the edge of the box. Just wide. I mean, look at the morale down there. Takazuka has just equalised. Cheer up, lad. Seriously. I'm not going to make the other change just yet, because we've got a bit of momentum at the minute. I say that, West Ham are straight on the attack again. Seju, the man we tried to loan in last year. Burn loses out to Ishmael. It's away as far as Harrison, and now we break. Oh, Ivanov's offside. This is going to come back. He was offside, I could see it. Down the right he goes, deflects in. Goalkeeper, I'm not sure what he's doing. Apparently he wasn't offside. He looked it by a country mile. Clark gets the ball away downfield. And over the top they go. That's a foul on us. 15 remaining. And then a gamble on some subs here. Ishmael off for Lejnik. And finally, Diogo Fernandez for Teddy Ivanov. I don't know the last time Fernandez scored. We've had goal drought messages for weeks. But if ever there's a time to be a hero, it's probably now. We're going to encourage. We've got 8 minutes plus stoppage time. 1 goal seals it. 1 goal seals safety. We've gone positive. We're dominating the game. But it's going to be a draw. Oh no, it might not even be that. Clark's got a free kick just outside his box. Idowu nicks it. Please be a hero. Please do it now. Idowu loses out and there's no one there. Burn tries to break away from right back. Reynolds into Hill. Don't do this to me. The 6 minutes are almost up. At least if we get the draw, we only need a draw on the final day or a better goal difference swing. As Harrison gives it to Williams. I mean, the 6 minutes are gone, but can we get one more chance? Idowu to Harrison. Takatsuka. We're playing on borrowed time. Williams gets it in the centre circle. Big hoof over the top. There's no one there. And it's back to Reynolds at centre-half. What are we watching? This is not a key highlight. Lopez from right back. Fernandez nicks it. Takatsuka can go. Go on. In the box. He shoots. He scores. Get in. Takatsuka saves us with the final kick of the game. Steve Tilson Park is back and it's rocking. It's bigger and better than ever. And 21,000 fans have just watched us secure safety with the final kick of the match. Takatsuka, you absolute legend. Set up by Fernandez. No idea why we were still playing. It is Southend 3, West Ham 2 from nowhere. From absolutely nowhere. But with that win, it's 35 points. It's officially progress from last year. And this young team has survived. That is unbelievable. And now we could finish 15th. Through to the final day against Villa. And there's now no pressure on this one. Lovely stuff. Bournemouth relegated. And this time, Southend have survived again. Well, we can relax ahead of fitness test time for this one. We've just got to get through it ready for the season review. We're going away to Villa, and I still want to have a bit of a go here. But we can now take our foot off the gas a bit, and I'm sure some of these boys will. We're being recommended to make changes. Some we will, some we probably won't. But I do want to get a few of the younger boys in without weakening the team too much. So back in a minute to run through the 11. Well, you can scratch that in the end because I've only made one change, which is to bring PJ Smith, the club captain, in midfield. He deserves some appearances, to be fair. We've also kept Morehouse on the bench, might be his final appearance for the club, and Volsky returns to the subs bench as well, with Harrison dropping out. Aside from that, it's most of the experienced backups who miss out on the squad. So we've gone for a fairly similar team again. It doesn't matter what the result is, but let's go and enjoy it as well as we can before heading through to the season review, because as we've very narrowly survived again, we know there's a lot of work to do. As Jose Mourinho is in charge of Aston Villa, they have got a team with, I think, no originals in the 11. Washington and Gyökeres are well-known names up front. Pau Torres and Moussa Diaby are on the bench, but you can see they've made a number of subs too, albeit most of them to the substitutes bench. So let's go and give people a send-off. We have got to go and do the fans proud. Most of the lads motivated. They're a good bunch, but whether they're good enough for this game is another question. Into the first half we go and see if we can handle an informed Villa. Well, either Villa Park has been expanded or they've moved stadium because there's nearly 50,000 in today as they've got an early corner. Well saved by Caljo, but the rebound's in from Gyökeres. I don't know what it is with set pieces this year. We were actually statistically compared to the league pretty good with them last season. This year it's been an absolute mess and I've not really changed a great deal. So I'm not sure how we address that. I'll have to look at it in detail in the summer. I think maybe there is a suggestion that because we had to work on fitness and team bonding a lot this year, we've also got young players who are being moulded into the individual roles that they play at this club. Then maybe in the training side of things, we have neglected things that are tactical, the set pieces, the dealing with attacking patterns of play and the defensive ones in particular. And that is perhaps costing us some results. But maybe for next year, if we can keep the core of this together and add in a few proper quality players, then perhaps we can go to the next level. This game looks like it's going to be a comfortable defeat already, doesn't it? Gyökeres in. Good challenge, Parker. Back to Jordan. Just over the bar. Goal kick. Caljo will take it. We're 20 gone. It's all Aston Villa. Well, 5 minutes to the break, and it has quietened down a bit, which is a pretty good sign for us, given the start to the game. And 1-0 at half-time is not a disaster at all. There are a few players on the bench I want to get on for sentimental reasons. I've mentioned Morehouse already. There's a few that I want to get on to get experience still, which are Volsky, Allen, etc. But we're not going to do anything crazy in this game. We're going to get to the hour mark. We'll see who's struggling. And I think we'll make some adjustments from there. You can see Jimenez certainly got a poor mentality here. So we'll get Morehouse on, save any late red card drama. Katazuka's been poor. He did what he needed to last time out. Volsky on for him. Allen on for Sam Ammo. And we've got Lejnik and Cox that I'd probably like to bring on. But for now, we'll leave it another 10 minutes. Ishmael was recommended to do 75 physically. So we'll maybe make the 2 subs there. And Smith perhaps can come off as well because he's not played a lot of football recently. But overall, it's been a pretty decent performance in the circumstances. I will make those 2 subs now. Lejnik and Martin Cox. and we'll give it 15 more minutes. We'll see out the game. And maybe it'd be nice if we can get an equaliser, but I'm not expecting it. We'll encourage the lads. Hugill's knackered. There's nothing really happening up front. And God, those goal droughts for the strikers have really hit at the wrong time. 5 minutes remaining. Southend deserve to lose this, but 1-0. Look at the Jose yellow card stacking up. 5 for Aston Villa and a 1-0 defeat. But in the end, it didn't matter. What was the Bournemouth result, actually? Because if they'd won today, it tells you how important that Takatsuka goal was. Bournemouth, they lost to Sheffield United. So thankfully, it wouldn't have mattered anyway. We stay in 16th, Norwich behind us on goal difference, Forest ahead of us via the same means. At 16th place, 35 points, 1 point and 1 position progress from last year. Let's go and get to the season review and a quick plan ahead for the summer. Well, I didn't get the warning this time to avoid it for you and learn the surprise together, but 65 million the transfer budget, the stadium upgrade complete, a training, youth one on the way, junior coaching and youth recruitment improved again. This year, a terrible youth intake, which wasn't even worth mentioning, but that is pretty big for next season and does allow us to improve. We also got a record high position. There you go, by a point and a position. Scored 2 less than last season, not ideal. But let's skip ahead one more day to the official season review and see what we're going to do with this squad next year. Well, no trophy, but as always for teams new to the Premier League, surviving the first few years is as good as one, financially certainly. And as we saw this summer, a lot of new young players coming in, the likes of Jimenez, Ivanov, Martin Cox, Takatsuka, Caljo, even Williams further down. We know they're going to be great players in the future, but patience was key. It was a summer I didn't like because we had to rotate the squad a lot, something that I don't really generally do. I like to keep my revolutions quite small, bring in 4 or 5 each summer, but this year we had to go big. The transfers out, though, do evidence that, bar Santos, we've really improved the squad. I didn't really want to lose him, but it was massive money. I didn't really want to lose Anselm, but he wasn't probably going to be good enough. And a lot of the others were miles off the quality. And in the end, they're playing in the Championship or League One now. So let's get through to the season results, where we do survive with 1 extra game to spare this time. We didn't take it quite to the final day, but that run near the end of the season was not good to us. But what a moment against West Ham. No idea what it will sound like. Probably me just screaming and ruining anyone with headphones listening. But apologies for that. We're back in Southend after a spell at Stamford Bridge as well. That'll be big for us next season too. And although we had a little run in the League Cup, we're nowhere near competing in them yet. A 3-0 win against Sheffield United, our biggest one of the season. God, that feels like a lifetime ago. The match to remember, the week before against Leeds as Fernandes equalised in the 95th minute. And a 3-1 defeat away at Manchester City, saw goal of the season last week. I did say it was a blockbuster from Martin Cox. Still a 3-star reputation, similar finances there. A few new shirt sellers in. Adozie, a big name, Ivanov one for the future, and a few of the old favourites, Hugill and Ishmael as well. Let's have a look at the end of season team. I don't think I can disagree with much of that. Maybe Jimenez would sneak into mine, and maybe Ishmael at left back, but it's pretty close to it. Hugo was fans player of the season, Ivanov record transfer, young player of the season and top scorer. We've got to find a way to get more next year. Might have to change shape, maybe go 3-5-2. Something we've not done before in this save, but I would like to consider. But even if we stick with this formation, we've got to improve in certain areas. Volsky got the most assists, not bad as a backup for most of the year. But Takatsuka got the most important goals, and he'll ever be remembered for that. History in the making as we survive again. We are staying up, and it was my 400 match in charge against West Ham. That's incredible. What a moment to mark it. As you can see, we've been expanding our scouting horizons again this year. We've got one in Uruguay, as well as the Japanese one. We've now got one in Northern Europe and Scandinavia. We've also got one in Serbia and Croatia. So looking ahead to the summer, there's going to be a few improvements. And again, I do want to focus on younger players, but maybe find one established start to come into our defence. Let's get through the scout reports. Maybe Andy Lyons we go for again. Ishmael into the overall best 11. God, Gus Scott Morris is still in there at right back. That's a pretty impressive effort. A few of those originals still in there. Look at Cardwell up front, Presley on the bench. Some old names that we'll never forget. Brilliant team overall though. We do manage to survive it. The supporter profile update, we've grown again after survival. And the club vision for next season, much the same. Attempt to avoid relegation whilst all of the facilities improve. We have been given a new contract, which is great news as well. We've got one now for, I think, 4 seasons, which gives us stability to go and build here. So we've got a deal till 2035 with a pay rise as well. I mean, it's all looking pretty good, isn't it? Southend United survive, but what have we got to do to this squad? Well, you look at the backup defence with Reece Williams, Bashir Humphreys, Josh Brookin. They're stragglers, aren't they? We've probably got to get them out of the club. We've also got to maybe look for an improvement as a backup goalkeeper. We've certainly got to add a little bit more quality overall. So I think for me, maybe 1 or 2 first team level defenders, but that is going to be the main area of improvement this year. It's the one that, bar Emir Williams, probably got held back a bit last season. It's the same 2 right backs, the same 2 left backs, and 3 of the 4 centre halves. So that's the area where we've got to put our focus this season. Annoyingly, the scout reports are good players, but they're mostly 5'9", 5'10", and can't jump, which is not ideal for defenders. And then the other area we've got to look is up front, because Idowu and Fernandez are both loan options and may not be suitable for the long term. I've got a couple in mind, and of course, we've got a couple returning from loan as well. Don't forget the likes of Mabama, Jaden Dans are coming back, Jigel and Carl Allsop as well. So we'll see what the summer brings. It's going to be a very interesting transfer window. Let me know in the comments what you would do. Would you go overhaul again? Would you look at certain areas? And do you agree with where I feel we need to improve most? If you did enjoy this season, a very dramatic finish yet again, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. The good news is we survived. We did it 1 game earlier with 1 more point and 1 higher position. But my word, it wasn't comfortable, was it? If you want to stay up to date and see how the summer goes and whether we can build a squad that might do it a bit easier next year, and please do subscribe and turn that notification bell on. We'll be back in a couple of days' time for a summer transfer window special with Southend United. It's going to be a massive opportunity for us to go to the next level. But between now and then, we've got action from the head coach tomorrow with a club that we've got relegated in this save and helped us out, but almost pushed us all the way. And of course, if you missed any of the other playlists, the Twitch channel, the football podcast, the experiments guides and nostalgia trips, they're all up in the eye above. But thank you very much for watching. Your support is always appreciated. And I'll see you back here on Thursday as we prepare for our 3rd successive relegation battle.